Hello everyone, welcome to this module where we're going to be discussing key elements involving statements and the different types of loops that we can work with. We'll have for loops, we'll have while loops, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to introduce a new concept. Well, it may be new to you, it may not be new to you, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to employ something called Python statements. Now, a statement in Python is going to be acting on a condition associated with something. So as an example, if I have a variable, let's say I have A equals 3 and B equals 10, I actually may want to perform a specific task under certain circumstances. So as an example, what I may choose to do is if A, and notice I keep using the word if, so what will end up happening here is I have a value here that says if, and if is a Python keyword. And I can say if A is going to be, let's say, less than B. And then what I need to do is I'm going to have to put a colon here. Now, this is the formatting of Python. So Python uses a process referred to as indentation. And when it comes to indentation, we have to pay attention to how we actually write the code, which is why I like the editors. So we have these editors that we're going to be using because the editors are actually going to go ahead and superimpose the format. If you use something that is not aware of the language that you're writing in, it doesn't have the capacity to be able to do that. So when it comes to this idea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the if statement. And if is exactly that. If A is less than B, and this colon says execute whatever is going to be down here. So I could actually run, say, for instance, a print function. So I could say print, and then in this scenario, print is an actual function in Python 3. So what I'll do here is I could say A is less than B. And I'm done. Now, what will happen here is if A is not less than B, what will end up happening is this will never get executed. In fact, it'll go straight through and stop or run the rest of the code outside of this process. So indentation indicates that if this condition is true, this if condition is true, then what I want you to do is I want you to do something. Now, I may have more than one condition. So we're going to introduce a concept here called if, else if, it's ELIF, and then we also have else. So I can say, if this condition is true, do something. If it's not, do this. I can have multiple if-else statements that will also be configured in here. So as an example, I could come in here and say ELIF, and then I could say if A actually equals B, colon, and then I've got to come in and indent, and I'll say print, and then I'll say I'll type equals. Let me get my eraser here. So I'll say A equals B. And if there was some other condition, I mean, it can only be in this comparison. In this comparison statement, it can only be less than, equal to, or greater than. But I don't really need to do a greater than connection because if it's not less than and if it's not equal to, it absolutely positively has to be greater than. So what I could do is I could actually use the else statement here. And in the else statement, all I got to do is just colon, colon, and then I can just say here print, and I'll say A is greater than B. And that's the process. And it's going to be a very, very useful tool for us in the idea of using Python as a network programming tool because we know certain things. So as an example, I know if a number or if a value is something, then it's going to indicate something that's going to be relative to networking. So if else, and else statements give me the capability of being able to put that type of logic into my code. Now, I'm going to use an example at the command line, at the console, and I'm going to do a demonstration with this. First, I'm going to do it inside of the IDE, which is going to be the Integrated Developer Environment for Python. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to write our second script. So this is going to be my second VOD script that we're going to work with. And I'm going to use the input command because I want to make certain that I can enter specific variables. So what we'll do is we'll enter an input for A, and then we'll leave B a constant of 10. And what we'll do is we'll entertain what goes into building this from the idea of both Python and the IDE, and also from writing a Python script using the Visual Studio Code. All right, so or Sublime, or Atom, or Notepad++, whatever it is you choose to use. All right, so I'll see you guys in that portion of the video.